That brings us to reports of committees, boards and commissions. And I do see Ms. Driscoll in the house, so please come up. Good evening.
Good evening. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes.
Peggy Driscoll, Chair of the Newtown Township Planning Commission. We met on January 4th. Our first item of business was the reorganization of the committee. I was elected chairman, Craig Deutsch was elected vice chairman, and Mary Donaldson was elected secretary treasurer. Our only item of the evening was the Arcadia Land Holdings Highway Occupancy Permit Review. This meeting was to review the highway occupancy permit in a public setting by the Planning Commission to satisfy PennDOT requirements as evidence of community awareness of the HOP, the highway occupancy permit. We began for the benefit of our newly appointed members by reviewing briefly the history of this property and the settlement now in place. Eric Carlson, Arcadia VP, reviewed the 4 options for access to the site. First was a direct access from the bypass. Second was the signalization of the entrance to the site at Buck Road. Third was the signalization and do not block the box striping at the entrance. And the fourth was the U-turn at Mill Pond Road. Mr. Carlson said that PennDOT rejected all but the U-turn as having severe safety concerns, including weaving and merging concerns. Mr. Carlson and our traffic engineer, Derek Kennedy, reviewed planned roadway improvements and traffic lights and signage to control the intersection to improve safety for the U-turn. Included in the improvements are mediums and a pork chop at the entrance to permit right-out only. There would be an option to turn left from Buck Road to enter. The plan also proposes improving striping and changes to the traffic signals to allow U-turns only when timed and the addition of a second right turn lane at the bypass to move traffic through the Buck Road bypass intersection. As per the settlement agreement, construction traffic will be prohibited on Mill Pond Road, as would through truck traffic after completion of construction. Only passenger vehicles would be permitted to make the U-turn. The Planning Commission members had a great many concerns about safety in all directions, especially at peak AM and PM hours when traffic tends to back up in all directions. The addition of 60 new homes will add to an already congested situation. The members did not look favorably on this plan. There will be concerns that drivers may become impatient if there are delays and fail to wait for the signal for a U-turn. Because the entrance to the site is so close to the bypass, Commission members also had concerns about cars attempting a left turn into the site and cars exiting the site as traffic proceeds from the bypass to Buck Road at higher speeds. PennDOT has indicated favoring a new access through open space directly to Mill Pond Road, but this has already been prohibited by the settlement agreement. 2 residents were in attendance and expressed concerns about safety. They also expressed concern that the agreement to not create an access directly to Mill Pond Road might somehow be renegotiated. And that was all we had at our meeting.
Any questions for Ms. Driscoll?
I don't have any questions. I want to thank you for this report. And the reason why we did this was because part of the application, PennDOT had required that there be such a meeting within 1 year to discuss this, and the applicant did not supply the proper documentation of that. They supplied a letter from the engineers that did not even mention traffic or U-turns or anything like that. So I would request that the township submit your report that you just gave to PennDOT as part of this application as required, rather than waiting for official minutes, because I think time is of the essence. The application is already in. PennDOT has been looking at it, and I think this is adequate to notify PennDOT that, of your concerns, of the committee's concerns, and that the public was available to hear all of this.
Okay.
If the township would do that, I would think that would be appropriate.
So you're asking for the synopsis to go as well as the meeting minutes once they're approved?
Well, I'm not sure if the minutes are required. I mean, PennDOT explained to me that they are well aware of the committee's concerns, but I just wanted some kind of documentation to be in their hands, to be part of the record of this application, rather than the piece of a letter that the applicant had submitted, which again does not even mention U-turn or traffic or highway. And I don't know why they submitted that, but this would take the place of that submission.
I think the synopsis pretty much sums up,
Right.
I mean,
Let me ask our solicitor if there's any problem with that, to provide a synopsis.
No, there's no problem with that at all. What I would suggest that the board do is make a motion to amend the agenda to consider making a motion to authorize it to be sent to PennDOT, because it is an official action of the board. I would also opine that it is de minimis and does not involve the entering into a contract or the expenditure of funds, and therefore would be eligible to amend the agenda to consider.
I would like to make such a motion.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Kyle.
I'll second.
Thank you, Kyle. We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? It's public record, you've read it already.
Well, the first vote, Mr. Chairman, is to amend the agenda. Then we'll vote again on the motion.
Okay. Any discussion on the motion to amend the agenda? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, thank you. So the agenda has been changed. So we need to, if you want to make your other motion.
Yes, thank you. May I make a motion that we submit this synopsis, this report that was just read, to PennDOT as part of the application for the highway occupancy permit.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have discussion on this? Maybe this is where I can say it's already been read into the record, so it's public already. I have no problem with that. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Those in favor of sending the synopsis, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion carries 5-0.